Good day, everyone. For this video, we're going to perform the fifth activity under the relays module. And this activity, we will know how this interlocking relay works. So, let's start. So, click the relays module, then click the activity number 5, which is titled Interlocking Relay. Click play. So, let's analyze first that we have two relays on this particular diagram here, which are the R1 and R2. The PB2 or push button number 2 is responsible for our R1 to energize, and PB3 or push button number 3 is responsible to energize the R2. What we want to do here, if we click the PB2, then the R1 is already in energized state. No matter how we press this PB3, this one, this R2 or relay 2 should not turn on. And then if we press the PB3 or R2 is already turned on, no matter how we press the PB2, this one, the R1 should not turn on. So that's the function of the interlocking circuit or interlocking relay. There is should only one relay working on this particular diagram. So let's proceed to the electrical diagram here. So as you can see, this PB2 is responsible for R1 and PB3 is responsible for R2. And we observe that we have numeric close contact here. This R2 and this R1. This R2 and R1 here represent the interlocking circuit on this electrical diagram. So how does it work? So if you press the PB2, this one, the current will now be able to flow from this 24 volts to this R1 or relay 1 here, since this is a numeric close contact. So the current will be able to go to the negative volts of the power supply. So if this R1 or relay 1 is in energized state, all the numeric open contact will be closed and all numeric closed contact will be open. So let's try to analyze the second line or second line here. If this R1 is energized and this one, the numeric close contact will be open. So no matter how we press this PB3, the current will not be able to flow going back to the 0 volts because there is an open circuit or open contact. Hence, this R2 will remain its de-energized or off state. So that is how this works. If we release the PB2 and then press this PB3, this R2 will be energized state. Since the R2 is energized, this R2 or numeric close contact will be open, this one. So no matter how we press the PB2, this R1 will not turn on or will not be energized state. So this is not how this interlocking circuit works. So let's wire this one and simulate this one. So 24 volts to the input of PB2. So, then the output PB2 to the 13 of R1. Output of PB2 to the 13 of R1. Then 14 of R1 to the 9 of R2. Then 1 first terminal of R2, connect it to the negative part of the power supply. So that is the first rank. In the second rank, input of PB3 to the input of PB2. So, and then the output of PB3 will be connected to the 13 of R2. So, output of PB3 will be connected to the 13 of R2. Then, then the 14 of R2 to the 9 terminal of R1. So, 14 of R2 to the 9 terminal of R1. So, then the R1 connected to the first terminal of R1 connected to the first terminal of R2. So, so that is the second rank. The third rank, so 10 terminal of R1 connected to the input of PB3. So, 10 terminal of R1 connected to the input of PB3. Then 6 of R1 to the input of PL2. Then the output of PL2, we can connect it either 1 of R1 or terminal 1 of R2 or to the negative part of the power supply. But to make it easier, we can connect it to the first terminal of R1. So, output of L2 to the first terminal of R1. Then, so that is the third rank. In the fourth rank, so 10, we can connect it either 10 of R1 or to the input of PB3. But to make it easier, we can connect it to the input of PB3. 10 of R2, the input of PB3. And then 6 of R2 connect it to the input of PL3. Then the output of PL3 connected to the output of PL2. So this is the fourth rank. So seems our connection correct. start the simulation. The moment we start our simulation, we should expect both pair 2 and pair 3 in off state because we're using the normally open contact, and this R1 and R2 should be in the energized state. So we're going to click the submit button now. So pass. So our connection correct. So we're going to click or press and hold the PB2 or push button number 2. So as a result, the R1 is energized state, and then the pair 2 is on. And no matter how we press the PB3, it will not be able to turn on this pair 3 and this R2 here. If I'm going to release the PB2 or push button number 2, so the pair 2 is now turned on, then the R1 is the energized state. If we press the PB3, as a result, the R2 is in energized state, and then the pair 3 is now turned on. And no matter how I press this PB2, so this R1 will remain de-energized or off state, and the pair 2 is not turning on. So we're going to release now the PB3. So the R2 is now de-energized state, and pair 3 is now turned off. So that's how interlocking relay works. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and God bless.